Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Myra J. How are
Hello,
you?
Sybil. I am doing fantastic.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank
The
you.
color,
All
you
the fall and stuff.
you've been back to the loctician.
Yep. I've been to my loctician. I'm all locked up. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I am.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I
Uh-huh.
am. I'm
Okay. We can talk hair because Stephen Hill's not with us today.
that's right. It's hump day. It's happy
Stephen
hump day.
Hill is on location, on assignment.
Oh, is that what
He's
they
not
call them now?
here.
Oh, that's French for not here. Assignment. He's on assignment. He's
or assignation.
okay. All right,
Hmm.
all right.
So it is Wednesday, and Myra J is here, and we are glad to have you here. We're going to talk a little news and entertainment and trending videos and what have you. But I do want to start off with a little bit of conversation about what happened this time last year. You remember this time last year was after the George Floyd murder, and everybody had taken to the streets, a lot of demonstrations and Black Lives Matters demonstrations and out there on the streets, and Washington D.C. was one of the cities, of course, as you would expect, to have these demonstrations. And so there was a lot going on, and especially in front of the White House, and
Mm-hmm,
that subsequently became Black Lives Matter Plaza. Remember that,
mm-hmm,
Myra?
mm-hmm.
Well, also during that time, remember that people were demonstrating there in front of the White House, and there was conversation about the tear gas and all of this that happened as they were trying to disperse the crowd with
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. So we have a little bit of video to remind you of how that looked. So here you have
Oh
Donald Trump
yeah.
leaving the White House. Remember that, and he's going over to the church. And he's going to have this photo opportunity. And there was a lot of consternation about this, a lot of folks upset, not only about the fact that that was the funniest part. I mean, what happened after that? You saw all of that with the police and everything. But, him holding up the Bible upside down, backwards, and sideways, and all of that, not knowing how to hold the Bible correctly. All right. So dig this, Myra. Check this out. Today, I said dig this. Check this out. Today, a government watchdog report came out, determined that law enforcement agencies responsible for the clearing of the protesters gathered outside the White House failed to fully warn the crowd to disperse, while fractured radio communications led officers to use the chemical irritants, to use the tear gas. The report from the Department of the Interior's Office of the Inspector General, or the OIG, is the first to evaluate that June 1st clearing of protesters shortly before the president crossed Lafayette Square for the photo op. While the event spurred accusations from lawmakers and others that the protesters were cleared to enable Trump's passage to the church, they determined that his plans to visit the park did not influence the officer's decision to clear it. So whether you want to accept this or not, and I'm still dubious about this, I will admit, in terms of how this all went down. But they said that while law enforcement learned on the day of the incident that Trump might visit, the police, the lead agency overseeing Lafayette Square, had already planned to clear the park in order to install additional fencing around the area. So they say that it wasn't necessarily his trip. They knew about that, but they were clearing people in order to put up that extra. Remember how they put up all the barriers around the White House. And so, as well as the area where he was going to be. So they're saying that try as we might, the blame is not with Donald Trump and his people. The blame is with the Parks Department, the Interior Department, as they were making way for him earlier.
So just to be clear, they're
Mhm.
saying
Mhm.
don't believe the old lie we told you. We got a new lie. We got
Right.
a fresh post-pandemic
Hmm.
2021 lie. So
Hmm.
you can forget the old lie.
That fake news.
Right, right,
This is the
right,
real fake news.
right. Okay, okay.
So,
All right. All right.
do you believe?
Hell no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, not at all.
I'm with you. So two things have come out, and we didn't talk about this yesterday, but two things have come out and trying to clear the name or give some credence to Donald Trump as president. This was the first thing, saying that really it was not his fault that they did all of this to clear the way. This had already been planned. They just didn't let people know. And that hence the tear gas and all that kind of stuff. I'm not buying that. And then yesterday, the report came out, Myra, and you saw this, I'm sure, the Department of Justice saying that they are going to defend Donald Trump in this defamation suit in which he is being charged by E. Jean Carroll, the woman who charged him with rape. They're not going to defend him in the rape case, but in the defamation lawsuit case. And they say because of the role of the president, it's the presidency, not the person. I can't get with that, but that may just be my incredible internal bias against this man.
And plus your acceptance of the truth, you know.
And then there's that.
Yeah. See, here's my thing. Let's stop wasting time on this lying SOB and his minions. Period. 99% of the time, anything that comes out of them, if they burst into this show right now and said it's Wednesday, I would have to go check. Right. That's how much I don't trust a damn thing that they say. And so it's just, look, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. I'm with you. It just boggles the mind. All right. So while the George Floyd, the murder case against Derek Chauvin was going on in Minneapolis, 10 miles away in a suburb called Brooklyn Center, that Sunday of the trial, you know about the killing of Daunte Wright by a policewoman. So now this woman, this policewoman she's resigned from her job. She's going to go on trial. The policewoman, Kim Potter, charged with second-degree manslaughter. Her trial is set to begin in December. Well, guess what? They're building their case against Daunte Wright, the young Black man that was killed. Now it has come out that a man is suing the estate of Daunte Wright, alleging that the 20-year-old Black man shot and killed by the Brooklyn Center police officer carjacked and assaulted him in March. The lawsuit has been filed in the same county where he was killed, and the attorney on behalf of Joshua Hodges seeking more than $50,000 from Wright's estate and claims that Hodges suffered severe emotional distress and mental anguish as a result of the alleged incident, which is a carjacking. They allege that Hodges was sitting in his car in North Minneapolis on March 21st when Daunte Wright and another man approached. Hodges recognized Wright from school. According to the lawsuit, the other man shot Hodges in the leg, after which Daunte Wright assaulted Hodges, hit him in the face, and stole his wallet and cell phone. He is then alleged to have stolen his car and driven away. The other man left the scene in the vehicle in which he and Wright arrived. The Wright family attorney is not commenting, but another lawsuit filed in May on behalf of Jennifer LeMay alleges that Daunte Wright shot and badly injured then teenager Caleb Livingston in May of 2019, causing serious disabling and permanent injuries. So they're seeking also more than $50,000 from Daunte Wright's estate because the man is dead. So I contend these are cases, obviously, and they said that they were stopping him because of something that had come across their screen when they ran his plates or his license, right? On that Sunday afternoon. And they're saying that, he was wanted for something else. So now the cases are coming out about Daunte Wright's alleged criminal past. And
but this is, you know what, and this is not taking either side, but this is what they always do. This is basically an attorney's job.
Yep.
I'm trying to get my client off. So if I have to sling mud on the opponent, then that's what I'm going to do. Yep. Period. So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
So remember when on this Sunday afternoon when Daunte was out driving with his girlfriend, and they told him he was stopped because of the expired tags, and then because he had an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. The officers then discovered there was a gun-related arrest, a warrant out for him, and so this is one of the cases that they believe had to do with him, and so that one of the two that we just talked about. But as you say, it is their job to find that smoking gun, if you will. And that's what, and undoubtedly, I mean, here you have a former police officer. She's going to be, lifted up by her union, her fellow police officers or fellow former police officers, and the attorney is doing his job and coming up with a case against him.
Look, Lord knows I don't need anything dug up about myself, but if I am ever put on trial for anything serious, I want every black person within the sound of my voice to come out with the black person's defense and go, so?
So?
Just like that. So what? That was 1987. So?
That was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
So what? We talking about this right here, right now.
We're talking about 2021. What you got now, player?
Exactly. So
the black person's offense.
Right. So
with the mouth and everything. And
okay. And when you put hands on your hip, that means, and I rest my case.
Next. What else you got? Rest my case. That's right, Myra. You tell them. You absolutely tell them. The Bidens are on their first trip on foreign soil or to foreign soil. They're going to be meeting with the Big Seven, the G7, all of the heads of the big countries, and one of those visits is going to be with the dreaded Putin. It's just a fun name to say for some. But he is first meeting with Boris Johnson, who is described, he is the Prime Minister of England, and he is described as a Trump-like figure. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get along, because Boris Johnson is a little a wackadoodle, as the former president is. Right. But they did arrive in UK today, and their first stop, where they landed, was at an army base, military base, where American troops are settled there, and they got a wonderful, warm greeting, and they spoke to the troops. And let's hear a little bit of that.
Joe and I are always excited to visit with our troops and their families. You know, you can sit down. I don't want you to stand through. Joe, pay attention. As the daughter of a Navy signalman in World War II and a mother of a major who was in the Delaware Army National Guard and served a year in Iraq, and now as your First Lady, I'm so proud to be here with all of you to begin our first overseas trip.
So how nice is that? She obviously, this was her big cause when she was the second lady, if you remember, and she got our forever First Lady involved in the activities with the military families and what have you. So this is nothing new to her. So she's very comfortable in that setting. The president is as well, and of course they are military family. And it was really cool, just to see her and tell Joe, pay attention. I got the dais right now. And to tell them, at ease, because he had to do that too. During the speech, he too had to say, at ease, sit down. I forget that I'm president. You all are supposed to stand until I tell you otherwise.
It's just one. I love Dr. Jill Biden because
Mhm.
she's so intelligent and she's so comfortable in her own skin. She
Yeah.
is not the word is bond type, first lady. You know, she is her own person in her own right, and she has something to offer and represent for our country, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it was very nice. And you know, in years past, I would not have watched that, but always glad to see them. And we talked about the arrival of the cicadas, Myra. The cicada also attacked the president before he got on the plane. As you can see,
No.
and did this. You know, a big old cicada got him on the neck. But more importantly, they had to change out planes or clear out the plane for the press flight because it was just a convergence of cicadas on this particular plane that the press was going to be flying on.
Well, I saw a story that grossed me out just about an hour ago. I don't know if this lady is in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
but did you see the lady now who has a business of the chocolate covers
Yep.
cicadas?
Yep.
Oh, you know
So-
what? Stop it. Okay, this is just for the white people. If y'all don't stop this BS, everything ain't supposed. Look, the damn frogs are sitting around now going, what the hell are we supposed to eat? Okay? The humans eating the damn bugs now. Cicadas, she said, well, this one has cinnamon. I don't give a damn what you put on it. It's a freaking bug. It's a cicada. Well, I deep fry it first, like that's supposed to appeal to black people or something. We don't eat everything fried. The hell no. Chocolate covered cicadas. That's just nasty. Stop it.
Well, this one has cinnamon.
Right. This has cinnamon in it.
Myra, they're telling people if you're going to eat them, no, it's like eating shellfish. That's what it's akin to, is eating shell.
You are not gonna disrespect my shrimp like that. No, ma'am. Hell no. Black people will not accept that. No. It's a damn cicada that's been underground for 17 years with his dumb ass and needs to stay there for another 17. We are not eating. Black people, we don't have to do everything they do. Okay? Just give that to them. If they want to eat the bugs, go ahead and eat the bugs. Okay?
Okay, and what do black people say if they come to them and ask about
So
not
doing that.
we got Joyland says on Facebook says, I can attest that so is a valid legal strategy. Thank you, Joyland, Attorney Joyland. You can be our official attorney along with CK Hoffler, please. And so, all right, case dismissed.
All these years of law and order, I never saw one attorney go, so.
But I bet you next season, look for the so defense. Oh, golly. All right, Myra, maybe not for you and me, but this is the marrying season. Getting married as a result of the pandemic now loosening up. People are going, they're doing, they're being, and a lot of those weddings that were scheduled for last year are now coming to fruition. People who did have smaller weddings last year, they're now preparing for the big ta-da, the big events, right? They said it's the one big event that's coming back quickly. Other things not so fast, but this is. Right now, they say that people are at a transition point where micro weddings are ending, and now people are starting to get comfortable with the larger weddings. Of course, you know, with the smaller family weddings, you had maybe 10, 15, 20 people and socially distanced. Now they're announcing that they're allowing weddings, the opening up, the dancing at the weddings and all of that, and hearing about it. And so this is a really big deal, especially for all of those things that are affiliated with weddings. The caterers, the dresses, the flowers, you know, the tux people, all of this stuff that goes in, and the email invites from the not.com, which reminds me, I've got a RSVP for your wedding, Christina. All of this is happening, and so they say restrictions are gone, and the people are pushing their bookings, and now they're finding that as they're lifting, that people who had the foresight and said, well, okay, let's do it a year from now. And so they're moving into the summer of 2021. And so they already have their weddings in place with the option of being able to move it again. But now people who are starting to feel comfortable about this and see that the ring really is real, the diamond, perhaps that they can go ahead with the wedding. And so now they're moving into 2022 and 23 as a result of you know, holding out and waiting till the very last. So good on them. Have you been invited to any weddings of late, Maya?
I have not been invited to a wedding. I did go to a birthday party over the weekend, which was an extravagant party. It had 50 people. And afterwards, at this particular venue, we went upstairs to a bar, and there were some people of the lighter persuasion there who were drinking and dancing, and the DJ was black and stopped the music to try to explain to them what a Soul Train line was. Okay, you know what?
Are you kidding?
Yes, he was like, okay, now it's called a Soul Train line, and some of y'all line up this way, and some of y'all be on the other way, and then one person comes down the middle, and people were going and sitting down, and I was going. You know, anytime you got to explain what the Soul Train line is, DJ, don't stop the music, no.
So I wonder, Myra, if were they so young that they don't know what a Soul Train is, or, you know, they came about after Soul Train, you know, stopped being produced on television, or was it an AIDS thing, or was it a melanin thing?
It was, to me, it was a melanin thing, because, you know, with us when we're born, it's like, you know, here's your birth certificate and here's your Soul Train line. It's like, just go and do it. Here, pass the pacifiers. You know, we know how to do a Soul Train line, and they never got the Soul Train line together. I just thought that was so funny.
Oh, Myra, they never got it. Did you all go up and try to help them out?
Hell no, it was too many of them. I was still social.
Okay.
Nobody. I was sitting back over in the corner laughing, going, "That's a damn shame. They don't know how to do a Soul Train line."
Oh. So. Well,
I didn't know that.
I never heard of
another party.
Yeah.
I didn't know those people, so and I wasn't going over there trying to make new friends. No.
And now I'm so used to seeing white people, you know, do all of the line dances and everything that we do at parties that I'm flummoxed. I can't imagine white folks at this time of our world.
There was a lot of alcohol involved. They didn't do the push tush or none of that they usually do at a party or nothing. But I was like,
well, they needed our boss, Tom Joyner, because Tom will bring a Soul Train line to the White House, as he is now famous for doing. Yeah, absolutely. So Myra, here we have the What You Need to Know newsletter today, and surprise or not, the newsletter, the first story in there, talks about this Senate report. This is a result of two Senate committees, and this is which may be the only one bipartisan committee report on what happened in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. And so they talk about the what. They talk about the lack of communication, or the poor communication, or all of the things that the law enforcement did wrong, intelligence falling by the wayside, and not keeping up communication, letting people know what was happening. But they don't talk about the why.
And why is that, Sybil? Why did they not talk about why it happened?
Because they don't even, and if you heard the minority leader of the Senate the other day, he doesn't even use the I word anymore. And so that is the new speak of the Republican Party. You don't acknowledge the insurrection. You don't talk about the riot. You talk about people having a tour of the Capitol. You don't talk about the lives that were lost. You don't talk about the people who came armed with, they had not only weapons, but they came with maps showing people how they could work and maneuver their way around the Capitol building. You don't talk about any of this stuff, but what they did talk about, and as we talked about in the newsletter, they talked about the fact that there was in 127 pages, they talked about the Congress and the attack on it, and talking about the planning failures on the part of law enforcement organizations before the attack, the breakdown in communications, and the lack of resources available to those on the ground. And what's going to happen, Myra, is that black heads are going to roll. And primarily, excuse me, I'm not choked up or anything, just having a little voice problem. What's going to happen, and watch for this, because they are talking about who's at fault here. The days and weeks before January 6th, where social media was rife with all of these conversations and talking about people coming to town, right? And what they were going to be doing to stop the vote and to stop the count. The one person that I'm fearful for her future is the Capitol Chief of Police, Yogananda Pittman, and what's going to happen to her, because the man who was in that position, he resigned just days after, and so now they're going through this, and people are saying that she was a part of the leadership, she was a part of the hierarchy, and I'm just wondering how long she's going to be able to keep her job. And that's what I care. I just want the black woman to be able to keep her job. And I'm sorry, I don't, I just think that she's going to pay the price for this.
Well, to me, she was not the grand poobah at the time.
Right.
And being black and being female, we know that many times she could have stood on top of the Capitol butt naked, screaming at the top of her lungs, saying that this was going to go down, and she would have been ignored and or overruled. So no, I do not think she should be held responsible. And was there any mention of T-Rump at all in this?
No.
Okay.
Just the fact that they were running roughshod, and one of the officers, they had a lot of compelling testimony from the law enforcement people that were on the ground. And just taking this as one example, the officers described hearing racial slurs and seeing Nazi salutes. One officer, not described in any kind of racial way, in trying to evacuate the Senate, said he stopped several men in full tactical gear, one of whom said, "You better get out of our way, boy, or we'll go through you to get the senators." You saw a lot of those men, including one who led the mob away from the Senate. I'm not sure the Senate floor. I'm not sure if this is the same man described in the report. But it is just it's heartbreaking to hear how they were abused, and the amount of attacks that took place, the force with which people were attacked. But it's also very telling in terms of who's really going to catch this. And
once again, this is a classic case of American history being whitewashed. That's the front and back of it.
Yeah.
This is why we must continue to tell the truth and document the truth. Now they can say whatever they want. That it wasn't people, it was cicadas. The
attack of the cicadas in January. Yeah.
Right. They can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But the truth never changes.
And Myra, how great is this? Not great in a good way, but how great is this that you have these people trying to rewrite history, and how they don't want us to tell our history. They are constantly trying to erase the history and not tell the truth. And all of this fake news that became just to a ridiculous level during the last 4 years, or now 5 years, and wanting to talk about fake news and to rewrite history, and not wanting us to tell our stories and to keep those stories alive, because they were the truth. Now, people, for the very first time, Myra, for the very first time last week, finding out about the hundreds of people, Black people that were killed in Tulsa. That how, for the very first time, the attack of white people on Black people from the air. How an incredibly gifted and really business-minded community just completely decimated, and still not back to where they were 100 years ago. And people are just learning that story because they tried to whitewash it.
And here the governor signed a bill, or something saying that it will not be taught in the state of Georgia. And these parents were out, when I tell you, in droves. This woman was crying. She was boo-hooing, going, they want to change history. We ain't trying to change history. History is history. We're trying to tell you how the hell we gonna change history? If we had the power to change history, y'all asses would be obliterated. Okay?
Okay.
We can't change history. It is what it is. But she was and they just want to change the history of our people. And child, please go somewhere and sit down.
I swear, Myra, it just, and the fact that in case after case after case, hundreds of Black people killed, and no one has been charged.
No one charged.
And in other cases, they may have been charged, but they had a trial of 1 day. A couple of minutes later, they came back and said not guilty. And time after time after time. And do they know that Tulsa just wasn't just a one-off?
Right. Because there was Rosewood, and
come on, bring
other
it
places
on.
now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, because I had heard many of these stories, and so when Black people play Home Alone, like, oh my God, oh dear, it's like we've been, and we keep trying to tell you all this, and here's the bottom line truth. It's all about power.
Yeah.
And they've had the power since they came here and snatched the land from the Native Americans. And now that there is the browning of America, and it's going to happen, people. You've had it for over 400
You've
damn
had a good
years.
run.
Right. It's like, come on now, really? You've had 90% of the pie for over 400 years, and all we're saying is give us our fair share, and y'all freaking to flip out. Right. Because you have to give up your 90%.
Or else that pie you're going to get next is going to be that Minnie-made pie.
Okay.
Don't forget about Minnie from the Help. Minnie will make a pie that will have that ish-eating grin. Definitely. So here we go. Myra, what do you think of Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, who is labeled as a Democrat?
I just think he's a plant. I really do. I'm like, he's a closet Republican to me, and it would be so easy to get things done. And I don't know if it's somebody that's in his pocket or in his ear or what, but it's like whatever the Biden administration is trying to do. No.
Right. He's just like Mitch.
Yeah.
The party of no is really the Republican Party, as we've known through the Obama administration, and now revived once again in the Biden administration. And Joe Manchin is, calls himself a Democrat, but it's like the rhinos. Remember, they used to call them rhinos, Republicans in name only. He is a dino. He's a Democrat in name only. Because what has he done? I mean, if you look at his record, even voting with Donald Trump, at least 50% of the time during the Trump administration. And now he can't vote for the People Act in order to bring back some voter responsibility on the part of the federal government. he can't bring back or help establish this law and down the filibuster so that this administration can make some progress?
To me, America is really in a sad state of affairs because it's so split down the middle now. And I don't know how we get back together. We've always had problems, big problems in the United States, but it's become so divisive now that the Republicans, and they know better. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They know better and they just won't do it. And they stick together no matter what. And to me, that's what gangs do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what gangs do.
Yeah.
Straight up. So
well, we saw their gangs on January 6th.
Yeah. So I'm like, I could give less than a dead fly mashed up against the wall about them. I really don't. I don't care about any of them. Vote every last one of them out of office, period. And once again, and I've said it before, steamroll their ass. Steamroll. Because that's what they're going to do. Well, we're going to try to work with the Republicans. They're not trying to work with you.
No.
They're not.
No, they're not.
Stop it.
Right. And that's what the Democrats are telling the Bidens or the Biden people, because, for what, the last 2 or 3 weeks, they were trying to work with the Republicans on this infrastructure bill. And, the original plan was $1.9 trillion. And then the Biden team was going to come down to $1 trillion. And they said, no. And, and the Democrats, and especially the liberal side, is saying, come on, let's move on. Let's just make this happen. Let's do what we need to do and make this happen. But in the meantime, you're absolutely right. And we got to remind people every day, you got to be registered, because if you don't make a stand, it's the steamrolling is going to continue.
Yep.
If you don't make a stand in your state, in your city, on your block, all of this is going to continue. You have to, for you and for your children and the generations to come. And I say that because today a big announcement came out, and we talk about it in tomorrow's newsletter. And that is the announcement by Val Demings, the Black woman from Florida, who is the congresswoman from Central Florida in the Orlando area. She has thrown her hat into the ring. She is going to run for the United States Senate as a Democrat, and barring any particular difficulties now, who are already in the primary, but barring any difficulties, she'll take on little Marco Rubio in the general election. And this is really important, because you guys think about the fact that we have no Black women in the United States Senate. Yep. We barely have Black people, but we have no women as a result of our vice president now, going up the chain of command. But this is really important, and it is, and really, I feel like I jinxed her last week, and I haven't talked about that this week. And that is Deborah Peoples, who was running as mayor for Fort Worth, Texas, and she was this close the last time she ran against the Republican mayor, Betsy Price, and now. She ran against a woman who's had no experience in public government in terms of holding an office. She was the chief of staff of the former mayor. She lost on Saturday in the runoff. And once again, like I was saying, this was a chance for her to make history as the first Black person, first Black woman to be mayor of Fort Worth, Texas, which is a pretty Republican area anyway. But I really hope that she, goes back again and runs again. But this is really important. It's elections like that, from your governor, from your city council person to the United States Senate, and of course beyond. Every election is important, and all politics is local. You got to get in there. Please register.
Remember during the last Bush administration, and Republicans gave this big speech about being more inclusive, and we're going to bring in women, and we're going to bring in Hispanics and Black people, and blah 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 blah, because we're going to be the party. Because the Democrats, they haven't done anything for. Look at it. Look at the Republican
Look at where they are now.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you had Mitt Romney, saying, I've got notebooks full of people, and if I had qualified people, I'd bring them on. Come on, I don't have it. And even Donald Trump saying, to the African Americans, what have you got to lose? And all of this kind of nonsense. But pick a party. Even if I don't care what party you want, but get involved. Mm-hmm. Just do something and take a stand. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like you to go with one side. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think that it's really interesting. And we're talking about Manchin and what he's going to do. I wish that we could talk to Reverend Al Sharpton or Mayor Mark Morial. We still call him Mayor Mark, even though he's president of the Urban League, of the National Urban League, just to hear their conversation that they had with Manchin yesterday. And Manchin called it a good start. I'm like, all these years you've been in the United States Senate, and this is a good start?
No.
Come on.
No.
While we have a break here, I just want to make mention of Myra's, her title today. Myra Donde Está Stephen Hill J. As we mentioned earlier, Stephen Hill is on assignment today. And so we don't know if it's undercover, overcover, whatever. But he is not with us today. So we welcome him back next week. More than 5 months after the U.S. vaccine rollout, federal data is showing that less than a quarter of Black Americans have even received their first COVID vaccine. As a woman who is fully vaccinated, Myra J., what do you say?
You know what? And I have friends, close friends that I consider very intelligent people who have not gotten it. Well, I'm going to sit back and wait and I don't know and blah, 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 blah.
What's in it?
What's in it? As they munch on a hot dog, what's in that? So, and
right?
What I'm saying is, look, we know about Tuskegee. We understand Tuskegee. But this particular vaccine has not been targeted towards one particular group. And look, let me tell y'all something. When the rich white people jump up and get some shit first, y'all better sit up and pay attention. Okay? You better sit up and pay attention. Don't have your ass shriveling up, dying on the side of the road, talking about, I don't know. Well, you know now, don't you? Things change, things improve over the years, and too many African American doctors and epidemiologists, I hope I said that right, have said it's safe. Let's take it. And I am at that point in my life, just keeping it real. I know I'm closer to the finish line than at the starting line. And I'll be damned if I'm going to spend the last of my years on this side of the dirt in the house and stuff. And yes, I have traveled. I've taken 4 trips. I haven't had any problems. 2 of them have been out of the country. And I still feel relatively safe with it. Now I do wear my mask in the stores and stuff. I know they say, oh, you don't have to. Shit, I don't trust them people. Nope. Wear my mask. When I fly, I wear the mask and the face shield. Because I'm going to tell you a secret. See, when you're on the plane and they tell you, you have to, try to stay covered. See, if you pull your mask down, your face shield is still covered. So you can eat like a little squirrel and you still have a little covering over your face. When you have the face shield, you can pull your mask down. Because trust me, them little dry ass meals that they giving you on the plane now with that little sip of water, you're making paste. Just making paste in your mouth. It's not a lot of chewing and stuff going on, but I would encourage everybody, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones. They said that the state of Georgia is only 31% vaccinated. 31%. African Americans have such a low. Here's the thing to me, that if they would have passed out the vaccines and said Black people could not get it, we would be up in arms. We would be up in arms. Oh, hell yeah, protesting. This is some bull crap. They trying to kill us. They trying to kill us all. So I am saying to you, This is something new. Now, who know? I don't know. I might be walking down the street, my spleen fall out 10 years from now. That's a chance I'm gonna take. The spleen. You just look like, damn, is that my spleen?
Scoop it up, take it with me.
Scoop it up, tie it up, and get on the damn plane and go on the trip. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm wondering if people are responding and why, telling us why they are not getting the shot. If there are people out there, I'd like to hear. I guess I'd like to hear why. I'm still, I know people. I don't want to put that foreign thing in my body. I've never been a vaxxer anyway, and so now I don't understand a lot of, which is kind of scary. A lot of the hospitals that are losing medical personnel because they won't get the shot. They have seen this up close and personal, and they don't want to be a part of it.
I have two very close cousins. When I say close cousins, this is like family members that I actually like. And both of them are nurses. Both of them have worked, on the front line in COVID units. Mm-hmm. Both of them jumped up to get it because they said, you don't want this. This is a vicious thing. You don't want to face this. And they were calling family members, begging them, saying, please get it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Many of the people that I know who haven't gotten it, my friend's cousin work at the hospital, whose neighbor's cousin's friend got it, and you know what? And they died. Well, hell, some people's gonna die anyway. It had nothing to do with the vaccine.
Right. Because you talk about all of our pre-existing conditions. Right. We got all of these things. Something is gonna kick in. Right. Something is gonna make it, overpower the vaccination and all of that kind of stuff too. Myra, I quickly want to touch on this, and especially as a businesswoman, talk about the 15% pledge and supporting Black businesses and asking people, especially as we have come through this pandemic, but as we are asserting and wanting to get our businesses a big kick as we are coming out of the pandemic. This young woman has asking people to pledge, retailers to take the pledge and promise 15% of their shelf space to Black-owned businesses, which would reflect the U.S. population. We're about 13% of the population, so bump it up a bit and to make sure that we get that 15%. And asking people even at the big box stores, at the small drug stores, 15% of your shelf space goes to Black-owned businesses. How great would that be if everybody would do that? That's
fantastic. And for all of you Amazon.com people like me, you can go to Amazon.com and put in Black-owned businesses, and all these Black-owned businesses pop up on your feed, so you can actually shop Black-owned products. Right. Yeah, there. Target is good for that too. They have done it. And then of course on Instagram, you see the organizations like We Buy Black. They also are very good for that. So, and absolutely every chance you get, every time you're going to go out there and buy, let's go out and support our companies, like the What You Need to Know newsletter. So you could if you just subscribe, that, boosts our numbers. I'm just saying, not only subscribe, but open the email every day. And that would be great. Myra, I want to take a look at our trending video of the day. It is, I want to get your interpretation of it. And also then this is related to our question of the day. Please take a look at this. This is from, I think this is from Instagram, just not too long ago.
So yeah, as I was just walking my 2 miles, a person yells out the window and says, "Your fat ass should be running and not walking." Did I cry halfway back from my walk? I did. Does it make me feel any better about what they said? No, it does not. I have been on diet for months and months, and It's not fair. People are so fucking cruel to other people for trying. I'm over people. I'm really over this shit. Atlanta people are so rude. I thought Louisiana people were rude, but Atlanta people are ruder. Let me finish my workout so I can take a shower.
Oh, that hurt
Breaks
my
my
heart.
heart. That baby. That baby. Atlanta people are ruder than Louisiana people. And we can put, any other state
Yeah.
in there as well. But just broke my heart. And so I'm asking people, and starting with you, Myra, what words of inspiration could you give to a young woman like this? What would you say to keep her encouraged?
What other people think about you is none of your business, baby. It's not your business. Unfortunately, what social media has given so many people is what I call keyboard courage. People will get on that keyboard and, oh yeah, da, 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 and I clap back and I said this and said that. Don't even worry about it. First of all, you are beautiful, queen. She's beautiful. Did you see the melanin popping in that skin,
I'm
baby?
telling you,
She's
beautiful skin.
absolutely gorgeous. And she was out walking. My fat ass, I ain't been walking today, and I should have been. So we always need to encourage one another. And we are so quick to do that crabs in a barrel thing.
Keep pulling them down. Keep pulling them down.
Which is sad. Anytime we get a chance to lift each other up, male or female, I encourage you, brothers and sisters, do your best, and your health is everything.
Yeah.
With all the choices of things she had to do at that moment, she chose to get out and walk. Not for anybody else, not for the people on social media, but for herself. And for that reason, she had a successful day.
Amen. Amen. I just, you know what? If I knew where you were, I would just reach out to you, and I'll come walk with you, because Lord knows Myra's absolutely right. I need to get my ass up and walking, and every day. Maybe if we have to do it early in the morning because it's a little warm, but the rest of the day, or sometime in the evening, after the sun goes down. I'm a sundowner. But absolutely, I would love for people to reach out and lift up this young woman. And as you have so beautifully said, what they say, that's not you. That's not on you. That's on the people who are now, they're thriving in the anonymity of it, as they can, give, and people used to say this on the radio all the time. Well, Jay said it. And so that was his job. His job was to be funny, not to be mean. And not to, keep bringing people down. Although you can make a good living at that, as some people have shown us. But you know what? If I could just encourage you just to be strong, and whatever words of encouragement we continue to give. And if it's not to her, there are other people around us, and just to keep encouraging them, and to keep them on the right path.
And especially during this pandemic, because so many people have not only suffered physically but mentally. Mentally, the mental toll of people, and Black people, we have a tendency not to want to deal with our mental issues. So sister girl, you've done a beautiful thing. I encourage you, keep up the great work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do we have this story? Do we have this video? We want to encourage her, and here's somebody who's back.
Who's back?
Hey, guess what's happening? Okay, I want to take I want to take that. Sorry. Madea. This is Tyler Perry saying, this is Madea saying I'm coming back and I'm on Netflix. I can't wait to take it so nice out. Damn it, hey. Madea's coming to Netflix. We need to laugh, man. Too much is going on in the country. We need to laugh. So I was done. But I wasn't. But she's coming back. Madea, I'm here with it. I'm here. I am Madea on Netflix. I can't wait.
She's back. And Tyler Perry on Instagram talking about the iconic Madea coming back to Netflix in 2022. It's going to be called A Madea Homecoming. So, and as you said, you know, we just need to laugh. And this has been a hell of a year or plus now, more than a year. And this will be something to give folks to look forward to in 2022. All right. So I want to go to, I'm going to pass up this other stuff because there's a couple of things I want to do. We did not do Yogi's Jewel yesterday. And
I noticed that too. So do we get 2 jewels today?
No, you just get today's. But so I messed up. Okay. All right.
Say it again, Sybil.
So
see, you felt better. There you go, and rest your case.
I don't feel good doing that, Myra. I got to admit that does not do anything for me. But I will tell you that today's jewel is such: allow faith to penetrate your inner being. Can you hear Ramsey? Allow faith to penetrate your inner being. Inhale faith. Exhale doubt. That's what I would say to that young lady. Inhale faith, exhale doubt. And that is what I want to share with her today.
And continue to walk it out.
Walk it out. Walk it out.
Yeah.
And I want to also leave you with, I've always been a dog person. When I was a kid growing up, we had dogs in our house. In the house, we had house dogs. And then, as I grew up as an adult, I didn't have pets because of the schedule and all of that stuff. But thanks to my friends Ward and Yolanda White, I have 2 god dogs and have come to love, and I really miss them now that I'm not in their house every day. But I did come across this, and this is my happy video that I wanted to share with folks as we leave out today. After 6 months at a shelter, Todd found his home. He found his person.
Oh.
That just really, I love those stories. I love those videos. There was music to it, obviously. And I think it was music. It was At Last was the music. we can't play the music. So thank you all so much. We will see you next week, Myra. Thank you again, Stephen Hill. Hopefully you return after your assignment. And tomorrow's Thursday. It's George Wallace Day. Go out there and be good to each other. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.